everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Repeateron, and today we're going to be talking about some more Killing Floor 2 related stuff. We're going to be going over specifically what they changed in the recent beta to Killing Floor, looking at the weapons and the perks. Not all of the beta weapons, I already have a video up talking about them, as well as the weeklies talking about them. I might go over them briefly in this video, but for the most part, we're going to be sticking to what they actually changed for the classes, and what they did for some of the other weapons that aren't the new DLC weapons. This information may be completely outdated in just a couple days or a couple weeks whenever they release the second beta, but I figured it'd be fun to go over and talk about each of the things. The gameplay footage that's playing in the background is footage of all the new DLC weapons and the HRG weapons that they've added to the game. There is 4 of them in total. We'll maybe talk about them in a little bit, but right now I'm going to be talking about the weapons that they've already changed that were existing in the game. So they changed 2 of them. One of them was the compound bow for Sharpshooter, which is their tier 5 weapon, and they gave it more damage with its ice arrow, more explosion radius with its ice arrow, more arrows overall, and more arrows whenever you pick up an ammunition box. So now you get 4 arrows rather than 3 arrows. You also have 35 arrows rather than 30 arrows, which is all around pretty nice. The compound bow wasn't one of my favorite weapons to play with. Sharpshooter, it wasn't bad or anything, but it always just felt like a weaker version of the crossbow, and it still does, at least to me, but at least they buffed it a little bit, so that's kind of nice. The second weapon that they touched was the Hemogoblin, which they buffed it again for some reason. It seems like every other patch they buff this thing. More impact damage. You now no longer do 100 damage per shot, you do 120 damage. Healing darts heal for more, and the reload speed has been increased by 20%. So all of that's great for the Hemogoblin. The Hemogoblin was already a pretty good pick for Medic and one of their strongest weapons if you needed it as a support weapon for dealing with any sort of large thing or EDRs or anything like that. Moving on to perks, some of the perks did get changed, and 2 of them got changed quite a bit. Those being Berserker and Medic, who I had already said were top tier classes to begin with. They are still quite good. I'm still convinced that Medic is still the best class in the game, but Berserker has fallen down a little bit because of these nerfs. Their passive damage reduction from all sources is now reduced from 15% at max, being 3% every 5 levels. So you're not going to be able to tank through as much stuff as Berserker as you could before. This does hurt you a bit. You are taking a little bit more damage per hit now. If you've played Survivalist, you'll know what it feels like because it's the same thing that Survivalist has with their damage reduction. Skirmisher was also nerfed, reducing the regeneration effect. So now you no longer regenerate 2 health every 1 second, you regenerate 1 health every second. You still get the bonus movement speed, and it's still a pretty good perk. I've used it a little bit since the beta, and it still seems to be good. You're not regenerating as quickly, and you will notice that. It's not too bad as long as you're not playing like hyper aggressive, then you should be fine, or relying on it, which I wouldn't recommend relying on it in the first place. Vampire also got nerfed. Now it no longer heals you for 4 points whenever you kill an enemy, it heals you for 3. That's really not going to affect Berserker a whole lot, I don't think. I usually don't use Vampire, I usually use Butcher, but Vampire, not as safe a perk now, but it's still a pretty safe perk. You still get 3 HP back every time you kill something, and if you're running ranged Berserker, then like the bonus HP is still bonus HP. Resilience was nerfed back to where it was. Now you no longer have 25% damage reduction from like everything that it affected. Now it's 15%, and parry also got nerfed. Parry no longer reduces incoming damage from 40%, now it's 25%. The buff that parry gives is also not as long now, so you don't get the damage reduction or the damage or the attack speed for 10 seconds, now it's for 6 seconds. That is pretty noticeable. Usually I could kind of tell when my parry was wearing down. I'm going to have to get used to the new parry, which means I'm going to have to be parrying again around the 5-second mark, which still isn't too bad with a lot of weapons, and you're rewarded for doing things like that with the Ion Thruster, so if you use that one, it's not going to be a big deal. Hemoclobber's not a big deal too, because you can make up for it just with the healing, and then like the Bone Breaker, you're going to be parrying and blocking a lot of the time anyway, so if you're using any of those weapons, shouldn't be bothering you too much, but other weapons might bug you a little bit more, something like the Zweihander or the Pulverizer. So overall, Berserker did get nerfed kind of hard in this update. I still think they're quite a strong class, though. They always have been. Maybe not as strong as they were before, but still pretty good. Medic is also nerfed. Medic no longer gets 3% maximum extra armor per level. Now they get 2%, so now they can no longer have 175 armor, they can have 150 armor, which is still a lot, and I didn't notice much of a difference in armor with Medic. The only ability that Medic has that got nerfed was Symbiotic Healing. You now no longer regenerate 10% of what you heal people, you regenerate 6%. You still have the bonus health buff, so you can still be pretty tanky as Medic. And 6% health should still get you through pretty much everything if you want to take it. Medic's usually at high health anyway. You can always run Resilience too with Medic. I was doing that and it works just fine. Resilience is still really strong. And then there was 2 other perks that got changed slightly in this, that being Demo and Support. Demo, their level 10 skill extra rounds now no longer gives you 5 extra rounds, it gives you 10 extra rounds for everything except for the C4, which you're still probably not going to take because 10 extra RPG rounds do sound good, but it's usually not worth just the 25% more damage in my opinion. You might see it picked more often though, early on, because you can get extra ammo and you might be able to hoard some extra ammo, especially if you have like a support or 2 on your team. So you might see it, but I kind of doubt it's going to be like meta build for Demo. And then Support's level 5 perk, high capacity magazines, also got increased. Now it no longer gives you a 50% larger magazine for all of your shotguns. Now it gives you 75% more ammunition for all of your shotguns. This still doesn't affect weapons like the boomstick, the doomstick, or the buckshots. You won't get extra ammo with any of those weapons, so if you're using them, the faster reloads are still going to be better. Same with any of the tube-fed shotguns are generally going to be better. Just with the faster reload speed, so like the M4, the pump shotgun, the Dragon's Breath, all of them, you'll still probably want to go with the faster reloads with them. For the large capacity magazine shotguns though, the ones that are clip fed and that you reload all of them, this is actually quite good. Makes it so you get a lot of nails with the nail gun. I haven't actually tried that one, so I'm not sure exactly how many you get. Your HZ-12 now holds 28 rounds in it, which is really cool. It feels like you rarely need to reload that thing. The Medic shotgun now holds 18 rounds, which also feels really good. And the AA-12 now goes from 20 rounds all the way up to 35 rounds in the magazine, so you can really hold down the trigger for quite a while with that. I guess I'll go quickly through the weapons that they added, as well as the new map and the new weeklies, and just kind of tell you my thoughts on each of them. So they added 4 new weapons. The first one is the Thermite Boar, which is a DLC weapon for Firebug. This is just the Seal Squeal that's fire. It's really good on Firebug. It's really good if you have Pyromaniac, to where you can just set down a ton of these because they count as explosion damage and fire damage and then cause floor fires. This is going to be one of Firebug's best weapons. The other DLC weapon they added was the FAMAS Master Key. That one goes to Commando, which is the FAMAS with the Master Key shotgun, and overall it's pretty clunky. It's not a great weapon. It's got the ACOG sight on it, which makes it awkward. 3-round burst only in it, and you can't just hold down the button to keep firing in 3-round burst. You actually have to keep pressing it. So that's kind of annoying. It's got low damage on the assault rifle, and then the Master Key is pretty much just a much weaker version of the starting shotgun with support. It holds 6 shots, it shoots very slow, and it doesn't have that much of a consistent pattern with its spread, so FAMAS pretty lacking as of right now. Maybe they'll buff that one. I hope they do. DLC weapons, SWAT got the new Bastion gun, which is the Stoner. It has a force shield on it, it has great sights, it does AR damage, it's got a huge magazine, it's all around really good, and it's a tier 5 weapon that weighs 7, so you can take it with anything else with SWAT. It's besides the Glock 18 with the shield, which this does everything the Glock 18 with the shield does, but better. So, very good gun, and probably one of SWAT's best guns at the moment, if not their best gun. And then the last weapon is the HRG Blast Brawlers for support. These are the Shotgun Fist, which sound kind of fun, but they're usually really annoying to use, and they don't hit very hard. They weigh a lot, and you can't easily, like, parry and block cancel with them, so they're probably one of the weakest weapons. I hope those ones get changed quite a bit, because they could be a lot of fun as well. For the weeklies, we have Scavenger, which is just, you don't get to buy any weapons, you don't get to sell any weapons, you only can buy grenades and armor, which is pretty fun. Every other weapon is just laying around on the map, you can find them. It's a pretty easy weekly, especially if you're playing somebody like Survivalist or Medic. You shouldn't have any problems whatsoever with it. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, but I kind of wish it was a bit harder than it is. And then the second one, Arachnophobia, is kind of fun, where you get to bounce on top of spiders' heads, but it's pretty easy. And just try not to bounce on any of the boss's heads because they'll probably kill you if you try doing that. You stomp on spiders that have extra resistance towards everything. If you stomp on them, you get health back and you kill them instantly. You can also stomp on other enemies and get a real long combo going for everyone that you step on. So it can be kind of fun, but not one of my favorite weeklies. And then finally for the map, we have the moon base map, which is actually pretty good. I enjoy it. It's still wonky. It still needs some work. There are some weird hitboxes. There's some weird stuff going on. The pathing is very strange as well. A lot of the bosses will just, frankly, not try to fight you. They'll run halfway around the map to try to get you. So overall, I would say that this latest update is pretty fun. I enjoy it. About half the stuff is good. The other half, I feel like needs work. And it has a lot of ups and downs, but that's better than some of the other updates where they've just been mostly not that great. So thank you guys so very much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me your thoughts on all this stuff down in the comments below. I'd love to read through it. And if you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you can go over to my Patreon for just $1 a month. You can pledge and then you'll get early access to some of my videos. You could also go down in the description below, click on the link there that says merch, and go over and buy some merch if you'd like to. We've got a lot of cool stuff over there. And thank you guys once again. I really do appreciate it. And I will talk to all of you guys next time. Till then, stay cool and bye.